Thank you for joining us, because today we're going to talk about conversions, but don't worry, not the political kind or the religious kind. There's nothing sacred happening here, but I will tell you, I'm so excited for this panel because, I've had conversations in the previous panels. I know Julie Cole personally, and then I got to know Katherine, and this is my jam because it's about content. So if you want to take notes, take notes. I encourage you because these two ladies know their stuff. So we are going to start talking about, we're going to talk about content, we're going to talk about digital marketing, we're going to talk about digital engagement, conversions, and we're just going to flow. Yes, I have questions, but even out there, we started talking about other things. So we're going to have a conversation, and then what I'll try and do is leave 5 minutes at the end so you guys can ask questions. If we don't get to your question, these ladies are going to be here for a few minutes after. I know, poor Julie's got to run out. You can ask some questions, but Katherine will be here. And then if not, maybe Simran and I can answer something.
We'll make sure we leave them.
Yeah,
we'll leave you time.
We'll leave you time.
We're in charge.
All right, so we're going to start talking about, I want to explore how you and your teams have used digital engagement in your customer experience strategy and the importance of having a customer experience-centered organization. So I don't know who wants to take it, but let's talk about what you do, because you have a legacy brand now. I would say it's 15, 20 years?
Dude,
old?
23.
23, yeah. Oh my gosh, 23.
Yeah. And I think we need to give a little bit of context of what we do, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm Julie Cole. I co-founded a company called Mabel's Labels 23 years ago. I know it feels like 15.
I know, right?
Yeah. And I'm a recovered lawyer. I started the company for two reasons. One was that there was a product missing from the market, which was, if you don't know what Mabel's Labels is, it's like a dishwasher microwave safe label. So parents go online, put in their kids' names, and then, we send them out, and they put them on their kids' belongings so they don't get lost. So had a good product idea with my co-founders, and the second thing was that my eldest child of my 6 was 3, and he had been diagnosed with autism, so I wanted to leave the traditional workforce for a little bit more flexibility. It was a unique perspective coming from CX as a founder, and that is a really unique opportunity that you have as a founder. You can create the culture you want, you can place importance on the things you want, like things like, we don't care if people come and sit in seats from 9 to 5 every day. If you get your work done anywhere, great, we're happy for that. But from a customer service perspective, it's been our secret sauce. I mean, from the very get-go, that is our top priority. We knew our customer because it was moms. And it's very specific, and we were moms. And we really understood that customer and what she wanted. And it really bolstered our early success and why we became a loved family brand. And digital has always been a part of that, except at the beginning when there was no digital. Remember, 23 years ago?
So I think there's a few
Some
people
of you
here
are 23.
We're just a glimmer in their mother's eye.
Right, yeah. But I will say, the moment social media hit, we already knew that moms were all word of mouth. Remember the old she taught two friends, she taught friends? So we took word of mouth, and social media and digital just brought that online. It became a great vehicle. So the mom bloggers were out, and I was a mom blogger, but I wasn't talking about labels. I was talking about having 6 kids and raising a kid with autism and trying not to smell like baby vomit as I went through the day, because I was just like them, that relatability with the customers. And then, of course, the mom bloggers were talking about our products with their communities who listen to them and trust them. And then we're all over Twitter and, all the places. And so that was our digital experience. And from the start, it has converted. Obviously, we use different tools. We do different things to measure that. And that has changed and evolved over the years as well. But because I'm e-commerce and and I'm B2C and you're B2B2C.
Yes, I am B2B2C. So, much different in terms of experience, and it's where I've been for the past 10 years. But one thing that I think is really interesting from the B2B2C side is that, we have multiple different customers and multiple different stakeholders throughout. So the person that actually buys our product isn't our end user. And so then having the digital experience or, customer experience for each of those stakeholder groups becomes very different, but having that cohesiveness amongst the entire organization and entire departments is really important. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we wanted to talk about the role of content in the conversions, because you guys come at content from a very different way. Yours is storytelling and yours is relatability. And I think that's really important because you speak the same language as your customer, whereas B2B2C, so can we just tell the Metergy, you are basically a resupplier of, if that's the right word, I could be wrong, of metering. So, in condo units and things like that, where people have, their hydro and whatever. So they are the ones that would meter for that.
Correct.
But their customer is actually the people that own the condo units or whoever owns the building, not the end user. So how you're communicating, because you would have a very different relationship. How do you convert? Because your content, is it to the end user? Not really, it's to the buyer.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're absolutely correct, and we have two different streams for that, right? So we have our, let's call it marketing and sales campaigns that bring our customers, or we call them clients at Metergy, bring them into our organization, and then they convert. They become a customer of Metergy. So they now go through our client success, our onboarding teams, et cetera. However, then we have the end user. And in Metergy speak, those are our customers. So client and customer gets a little bit confusing. However, those are the ones that we need to communicate to the most and provide the most resources, because they're essentially being handed a service and they didn't ask for it. So we need to ensure that our digital ecospace and like every single touch point. So for us, it's our website, our portal, our customer care team, our customer experience team as well. And we have client or content touch points throughout. Trying to make meaningful interactions for something that is complicated and new through the power of content.
Yeah, so where does your content live? So both of you have content living in different places.
Yep.
That you use for conversion. So where does yours live? Where does yours live?
So our content goes wherever the moms are, right? Because they're our customer. So, and it's funny how it does evolve, because when social media just came out, the moms were all on Facebook, right? And like within that, we had like 200,000 Facebook fans, and all the moms like who are my age are still hanging out there. But now the next generation of moms, they're on Instagram or they're on TikTok. So you have to go where your customers are and communicate with them in a way that they want to be communicated, right? And for us, the content is around, if we're doing Instagram, we're thinking like there's going to be a percentage that's about entertaining them or delighting them. There's going to be some content that's going to be about education, and then there's going to be some content about, hey, our camp sales here, woo woo. And or there just might be trends. Like sometimes I'll be like, Julie, next time you come to the office, bring a pink tutu, bring a, like they have me doing all the things.
And we're just going to do a shout out. You guys, anybody here on Instagram, Facebook, you guys have to see what Julie does, because her content converts. Sometimes she's silly, sometimes she's serious, sometimes you are doing kind of a salesy thing, but it converts, and it might be silly, but it works because that's a language that your customer understands.
For sure. And that's a whole other, talking about visibility and things, but also to remember that the social media team and our marketing team, when they're creating content and they're thinking strategy and figuring this all out, if the point is to get a sale and to convert, their job is just to get somebody on our website. Now it's our web guys' job to get them to hang out on the website, to make it easy on the website, and to make the purchase. And that's where Aaron here is as our customer service experience rainmaker. And that's where they're always collecting the information, and people are reaching out to them, or we are sharing it amongst each other, what we're hearing out there in the wild, because that then informs what kind of content is converting? What do they want to see? What are they, are we getting the results and the goals that we want out of it? And also it tells us what products they like. And so, it's just about listening to them, and social provides a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah. And then what about you, Katherine? Because yours, I imagine you're not walking around in pink tutus.
It's really fun. Definitely not. It's a little bit different, and it really depends which end stakeholder that we're communicating with. So our I'm going to call them our purchasers, so those who actually buy Metergy services, we're on web, we're on LinkedIn, but we're not on TikTok, we're not on Facebook. Like, that's not where our buyers are. So what we try to do is put content in the areas that our buyers are in based on market intelligence and data from a marketing standpoint. But for our end users, we have a hub or a portal that is just for them. So it's content about our services, any questions that they may have, FAQs, et cetera, where they can go and they can kind of learn and understand about, I'm going to call it a semi-complicated service, but to help them, understand it in a way that is easy and digestible. But like coming from a different industry, I worked in recruitment for quite some time. We were on social. We did the more, I'm going to call it fun, creative elements. But at Metergy, it's more of like an educational content area. And then from the sales perspective, we're kind of doing the concept of what we call provocative selling, and trying to reach our end customers that are typically in traditional areas, LinkedIn, face-to-face, et cetera, but in a way that kind of cuts through the noise.
Yeah, so yours is very much more awareness educational.
Correct.
Whereas yours is more marketing advertising.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I mean, again, it's all about knowing your customer. I mean, like, why would meteorology, like, you don't need to do an elf dance on a table like I do. Like, because again, it's about knowing, who your customer is and what they want to
Correct.
see. And it's about turning up for your customers too. Like, we can, all today, AI, yada, yada, yada. Get it. We need it. We love it. Erin, she's always staying on top of like what tools are going to help her team while also not eroding that personal experience that we give. They respond to every comment. Like, somebody will say hi in the comments and so it's that really personal touch. Mm-hmm. All of the time. But I don't know if there's any other entrepreneurs here, but as a public-facing founder, they want you to turn up too. And I do think that visibility is having a moment, and IRL is having a moment. And if your customers want to see you, the founder, then you got to turn up. And that personal brand thing isn't just for, Elon Musk or Martha Stewart or whoever. It's for founders, and they want to. They're saying founders and CEOs are the new influencers, right?
But all those tech bros are showing up. Look at all those conferences, Collision, Elevate, all those big conferences.
That's right, because it's having a moment, and they are the influencers. So if your customers care, because I hear founders all the time, they're like, they don't care what I had for lunch. I'm like, you'd be surprised. They want to see you pack up those orders. They want to see those struggles you're having. So I'll be on like Instagram with the team doing fun stuff, but on my LinkedIn, it's all thought leadership and that sort of thing. So that's what the customers want. That's what you provide. They want to see you turn up.
Yeah. And since she brought it up, we discussed we weren't going to get into AI, but she opened the door, so I'm walking through, because I'm front door PR. I'm walking through. Do you have any favorite AI tools that are helping to kind of support the content creation, the conversions, anything like that, something practical people can take away?
Do you want to talk about what you guys are using? Or?
Yeah.
Or what your favorite tools generally are?
Maybe my favorite, generally speaking, from an AI perspective, I think there's so much out there, and I think there's so much that can be used. But one thing that's made a huge difference for us on our communications team is simply just using agents, or I guess for ChatGPT, it's called the GPTs, but building, we're a Microsoft organization, and we have agents that know and read all of our different resources and our communications methodology across the board. And so it's a huge time saver when we're like, okay, we have, this customer escalation, this issue that we now need to communicate. Here's all the right information on how to do X, Y, Z, pass communications to this building at this level, et cetera. And it saves time. It gets it what I'm going to call maybe 80% of the way. One of our comms writers runs through it, and then we get it executed. So it's not, what I'm going to call revolutionary, but the agents have really helped our organization.
Yeah, I would say too, like for our CX team, what's been nice is using AI in a way that, can knock off some of those easy questions, that can save them time. And then it gives them the opportunity to toe dip in other areas. Like, we have a big fundraising program, and we have, our original customers from 20 years ago, their kids are big now. And, when you get to this age, what happens is you finally get rid of your kids and then you have elder care. So now our original customers are buying labels for their seniors, right? So now our customer service team, if they can knock off a bunch of the tedious stuff using some AI tools, then they can do like some outreach to like seniors' homes or to other, and then they love that. It gives them like a chance to try new things, and it's good for the company as a whole. But assuring them that they all have jobs and making sure everybody feels safe, that they're being used in still really effective ways. But I know like what we use like as a platform, not AI. That's been really important. That I know Aaron has been really happy with his Yotpo, because like as a company that. Reviews are important. They're not just going to trust brands to say, you want them to trust you, but if you're just like, my labels are the best, it's like, of course you're going to say that, right? So Yotpo is great because you need real reviews. People want to see reviews, never hide them. And we were one of those companies in the early days when a lot of companies, like if they got something negative on Facebook, would like, take it down. And we would do that thing where, and actually, I think Marissa was talking about her thing, we'd do it like where we would publicly be like, oh gosh, sorry that happened, this is what we're gonna do to fix it. And then you end up with a super fan and they tell all their friends about you. So we were never like afraid of making mistakes. But the other thing that's great about something like Yotpo is that it tells people how to use the product. It shares, right? So it helps our customers provide customer service to our customers. But that's always been part of the Mabel thing. Like we've always had like loyalty and brand ambassadors because we do get super fans. We have a lot of moms who are like, you guys exist because I bought so many labels. I'm like, actually, you're right.
And then you and I were talking about how you actually use it to empower your teams and give them authority over their work. Do you mind sharing a little more about that?
Yeah, it's more like a cultural thing. Again, kind of to the point I said at the beginning about one of the beautiful things about starting a company is that you get to kind of drive it and core values and that sort of thing. And we found something from a business perspective that the more we empowered our CX team to do what they needed to do, the more effective it was. And it was just one little thing, but a lot of companies weren't doing it, was they could fix the problem. They could fix the problem. They didn't have to get, Julie, can I give a free set of labels to Mrs. Whoever because she wasn't happy or they didn't arrive? And the Wizmos, like, just figure out, send out what you got to do. Oh, this mom spelled her kid's name wrong. It's really her fault. I don't care if you want to give her free labels and it was her mistake. Do it. Do whatever you want. And in fact, one time, way back, a customer called and their iron-on label messed up their jeans. It was user error, but whatever. And our customer service rep just went and bought a Gap gift card for $100 and expensed it and said, here, buy some new jeans, whatever. And didn't have to get approval for that sort of thing. So I think, when you empower your team to use whatever tools, then they're going to be more effective. They're going to have skin in the game, and they're going to stick around, and they get your culture, right?
Yeah. Can you talk about how to know when your content is converting and what you need to have in place to ensure that you've created a digital ecosystem that optimizes those conversions?
It's a good question.
Right? It's a test.
It's a really good question. And, I think it's a little bit different depending on where in the funnel you want to convert. But what I can say, what we do for top of the funnel, so think, we're marketing to the organizations that we want to buy our services from. We use HubSpot, and we have it set up, and it tracks everything. And not every organization is going to be able to go in and buy an enterprise level software, but what I would say is that you should have some sort of attribution model set up to understand your content, how it's converting, what the meaningful metrics are to you, and at what stage in the funnel. Like for some, awareness, people that are clicking on it, people that are simply just viewing it, that's exactly what we want. We want to build awareness around our product. And then you get further down the stream and you want people to convert. So understanding those conversions, how they got there, is it last touch, is it first touch, like what is your specific model? And then kind of downstream from there, having a single source of truth that you and your leaderships and executives can go in and understand, I think is important. But for us, we use HubSpot, and that helps us understand our content, and it kind of ties into web, portal, et cetera.
And it's important stuff to know. Like, you got to know where people, like even on your website, like why are they all dropping off at 4 seconds? Like what's going on at 4 seconds? And same with your content, right? And the good thing about the content tools like, Insta, TikTok, whatever, you can get a lot of the metrics right there in the platform, right? So you can see like, okay, so am I getting engagement? Because a lot of people are like, oh, we work with a lot of content creators. You probably don't, but we do. And, a lot of companies think, oh, yeah, they've got this many followers. I'm like, yeah, but what's their engagement?
Yeah.
Like, these are the things, like what numbers, understanding what numbers really matter, where you're losing people, what's converting, where and why. We're all beholden to the nerds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to create that architecture from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say, how has it helped you with any pain points? Has your digital engagement in general helped resolve any of the pain points that you've had internally?
So, like, engagement with our customers?
Well, engagement with your customers or with even your internal teams, because I know that you were talking about, setting up those digital pathways.
Right. I would say that, obviously the feedback that we get from, people who engage with us, that's exactly like the sort of thing that does inform what we're going to do next, or how we're going to respond, or how, we know that our brand is being felt out there in the wild, right?
Yeah.
So, all of that feedback that we get is critical in knowing what our next steps are.
Yeah. And I think with you, because you work in a more, let's say, I don't want to say retail space, but you're also a little bit on the tech side, as opposed to like dealing with the founder. How do you end up resolving those pain points? Because you are one step away from your end user, not your customer, but your end user.
Yeah, so again, like if I'm thinking about the end user, and an example that I can think of, say we need to share a communication, and we have our comms through HubSpot, and we're able to see things like, did it open? Did someone click through? Did they do the intended action? And just simply by understanding if that email got opened or not can be game changing for us, because we're like, okay, clearly this subject line did not convert what we wanted this customer to do. And normally for us, it's to take some sort of action. We need them to update something. We need them to do X, Y, Z. So things like that can be really helpful.
That I always ignore.
Yes.
Yeah, you need to sign this doc. I'm like, whatever, you got my signature 3 years ago, you're good.
Well, we started like adding some verbiage at the beginning saying like, take immediate action or something to drive that conversion, but we'll test, we A/B test depending on what it is. We might want to be a little bit softer, we might want to be a little bit more direct, but it's so simple, but it can really help us understand things.
Yeah. There are a couple things too that I wanted to mention. Like I think about, I was at one of the other panels earlier, and they were talking about how do you make it like a customer-obsessed business, or how do you make it so that everyone's like just on board? And I do think it has to come top down. It's got to be, a really important piece to it. These are the people who, that's why you're there. Don't forget that, right? But I think something that we do that works, and it didn't come up in that, was we have profit sharing. So, we set our goals, and we do it reasonably. We never set goals that are unattainable. Like, it's all based on data. It's based on things. And it's not just like, oh, I think we should make $1 bazillion this year. Good luck with that. Because if they're not engaged and they don't believe it, they're not going to get buy-in, right? So then I feel like it creates a culture of, okay, the person making the labels, what am I doing that's going to make the customer love this? Okay, let's check our quality assurance. Let's make sure the person packing them up, let me just make sure that that is the right name with the, okay, yeah, that scanned, perfect. So now we're not going to have a Wizmo, or we're not going to have I got the wrong labels in my. So everybody is engaged and has skin in the game for the end customer being happy, because at the end of the day, they're going to make money off it, extra money off it.
Right.
And I feel like giving that and having that skin in the game has made them really like entrepreneurial, good problem solvers. And also they think about, and maybe this is a culture thing, and I don't know if you guys have this experience, but I feel like the customer service isn't just for our customers. We're like customer service agents for each other.
Yeah.
So, if I'm like, hey, to our graphics person, I need some assets for like, I'm going on breakfast television next week. Can you put up something together doing a promo saying I'm doing a camp segment or something? And she'll be like, oh my gosh, Julie, yes, what's the timeline that you need it? Great. I get treated with great customer service. And then if somebody else, so we just make sure that customer service isn't just for customers.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because this whole summit is about the customer experience, and sometimes we forget about the internal customer and having that as a great experience, so that you have an outwardly great, customer success, which is the track I was on. That customer success really comes from having a great customer experience. So we do have about 4 minutes left, and I want to open it up to some questions. Does anybody have any questions for Katherine or Julie?
Come on.
Anyone?
What you got?
Oh, there we go. We got a couple. Great. Who's right there?
Thanks so much, you two. So I run a client experience team of about 8 people. Obviously, during the pandemic, we all started to work from home, and it has been tough to get everyone back in our office. And I've always found a lot of benefit in having your CX team all working together to hear phone calls and problem solve together. How does it work at Mabel's Labels and maybe your company as well with your CX team? I know you said they can work remotely, but how does the CX team look right now?
So the CX team, I mean, Aaron can answer this better than I can, but they, usually there's like 1 or 2 around the office, other people are working from home, but they have like their communication with each other is ridiculous. Like it is off the charts, wouldn't you say? Like there's an ongoing all the time, and they are always tracking like what are the most common questions, and this stuff is going on all the time, this communication. And I love it because like as a female founding company who wanted flexibility, I want to extend that to other people. And you find that from a cultural perspective that, our people do stick around. Like how long has your oldest person been around, Karen, say? 12 years. Yeah, like people stick around. We call it Hotel California. Like nobody, you never leave. They never leave. And it's because we provide that. And we even were kind of like that a lot in the early days. It's gotten a little bit more corporate as we've gotten bigger and that sort of thing. But like I can remember in the early days, one of our customer service reps was like, hey, do any of you guys mind if I just spend the summer at the cottage and I'll deal with all the live chat and emails or whatever? And they were like, yeah, that's good. We'll take turns coming in to make sure somebody's by the phone. And it was always just like, if it works for you, and if it works for the team, and it works for the company, you do you, right? Like you're not, I'm not.
And it's worked.
We never acquired by Avery. Treat people like kids, they act like kids,
Yeah.
but you treat people like adults. And it's the proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
Just really quickly, I'll top up. We're opposite. So
We were a little bit like, why are we on this panel?
Both perspectives.
My org, we're fully in office. Like we're technically hybrid, but I have the CX team sit right by call center and right by client success, so we get to hear everyone on the phone. So we're hearing customer issues, problems, etc. in real time, and I wouldn't change it.
Do you have any neurodiverse folks who have a hard time with that?
There's for our office, which is a really good question. We have a quiet side and then there's the louder side.
Okay.
So there are some
Make a combination.
Yeah, we give a combination.
Yeah, that's excellent, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, one last question.
Yeah, hey Julie, just a question about the anyone can do anything if there's a problem. Just give them a gift card, do whatever you need to do. I think it sounds great in concept. Have you found it's obviously contradicts your business success if you do that too much? Have you had to put guardrails into that, or how have you sort of managed that, pure CX view, which is amazing, but in sort of business reality?
Sure. I'm going to say by and large, we have not felt it taken advantage of. I don't know whether it's just our customer. There's a lot of honesty. The moms they just want to get their labels for camp in time, so it's more like that. And the other thing, that you got to remember, which is a beauty, is that it's not like I'm making a $1,000 item and having to replace it, right? Even shipping it is easy. I mean, we have the money. We don't even have stuff in the inventory. We have the money before we make the product, right? And then we send it out. So it's, it's custom. It's easy to ship. We've got a good margin. So it's not been a problem. And I think the type of customer we have, they're not out to, get the man. We're not the man. And that's part of that whole being relatable. Nobody wants to screw Julie. She's got those 6 kids. That one has autism. That poor woman. Buy more labels.
I'll attest to that. Okay, well, I think we've come to the end of our panel. Julie, Katherine, thank you so much.